Sorry for that jump steer, ladies and gents, but we are back. We are here. We're kitted out in gold. It is semi-final time between these two great nations. It feels like a World Cup final type of build-up to this one. And how good these two sides have been, it feels like a proper final type atmosphere and final type quality between these two sides. They've met a lot in recent times. Euro 2024, the Nations League semi-final as well. Spain have got the better of France in recent times, but this French outfit right now looks unstoppable. It looks, at the moment, a very, very hard cookie to crack right now. Quick look at the lineups before we get into this one here. Mike Maignan starts in goal once again for France. He's been a ever consistent there. Luca Digne, ahead of his big move to Paris Saint-Germain, starts at left back. Saliba and Upamecano have been unchanged at the tournament at centre half, with Jules Koundé, the right back. In midfield is the one change is made. Rabiot and Aurélien Tchouameni returns from his injury. The other change comes in the front line. Bradley Barcola for the left, Olise in the 10, Dembélé on the right. Of course, the skipper, Kylian Mbappe, leads the line. On the bench, players like Ibrahima Konate, Malo Gusto, Maxence Lacroix, Theo Hernandez, reinforcing defensively. Kone, Chayan Cherki, Warren Zaire-Emery, Desiree Doué, Jean-Philippe Mateta, and Marcus Thuram are also options from the bench. For Spain, it is Unai Simon, Pedro Porro, Pau Cubarsí, Aymeric Laporte, and Marc Cucurella have been a part of so many clean sheets already this tournament. Rodri and Fabian Ruiz is there to protect the backline. Lamine Yamal, Dani Olmo, Alex Baena in behind. Mikel Oyarzabal has 4 goals so far at this tournament. Marcos Llorente, Alex Grimaldo, Gavi, Merino, Pedri, Pino, and Ferran Torres are options for the bench, alongside the ever-dynamic Nico Williams. You don't really have to introduce this one. You don't have to sell it. It sells itself. Two of football's juggernauts. Two nations which have dominated the European landscape and also the world landscape. A moment of silence here before we get kicked off. And then we can get the football started. Superstars wherever you look. We are getting the countdown on here in Dallas. What a arena to do so. This stadium is giving us some of the best games already this World Cup. And I think we're in for one more here. Mikel Oyarzabal and Spain get us kicked off. They're kicking from right to left. They're changed white strip. Here's France left to right in their home blue strip there as well. Here's 2 of the top 4 teams. 2 of our final 4 protagonists that remain. Both teams have another game to come. But is it the gold medal match or is it the bronze medal match? That is the question that will have to be found out today. It's the pragmatism and defensive structure of Spain versus the dynamic and electric French front line. There's Lamine Yamal, Kylian Mbappe. Here is Ousmane Dembélé. There's Mikel Oyarzabal. There's absolute superstars all over the park, and it's interesting to see how both these teams get settled in the early moments here. France, a team that have built into games, in particular knockout stages, as opposition have sat off them. Other than Rabiot now on the turn. Just put that behind Bradley Barcola in the side today in place of Desiree Doué. Didier Deschamps once again rotating that position almost every 2 games, it feels like the starter there. Last time these two teams met, it was a quite sensational matchup in the Nations League, in which we saw Spain go through 5-4 after leading 5-2. The French came back, but not all the way to send it to extra time. Back with Unai Simon under the pressure of Mbappe. And plays himself out of trouble there, but the clearance straight to Bradley Barkel, and France can come back. He's added in Rabiot. Mbappe around the corner. Gets away from Rodri. Dani Olmo comes back to support though. And defending by committee, Spain get the job done there versus Mbappe. Enters this game with 12 knockout stage World Cup goals, the most of anyone. Back-to-back tournaments of 10+ goal contributions. It's history that has been made right in front of our eyes by Kylian Mbappe. Against a lot of these players which he either plays with or plays against, he'll be very keen to make a big statement here. His opposite number, and Lamine Yamal, who also want to have something to say about this one. Yamal loses out. Mbappe, Barcola, now back with Kylian Mbappe. He got away here from Fabian Ruiz. Sized up that crossfield pass, but in the end lays it back. It's a poor giveaway from Rabiot, but it's fallen back his way. He's good for Chuidis there. Dembele fizzes one into Elise. Just away from him, and it's more open. This was what Lamine Yamal will want to get Adinha 1v1. Just rolls that ball inside to Alex Baena. Spain will be more pragmatic. They will be sideways. They won't want to give France opportunities to counter-attack either. So when they are in possession, they'll want to be safer with it like they have done throughout this tournament so far. Rodri conducting in there. Fabian Ruiz as well. It's good to have him continuing the starting 11. Those legs look much more fresh than Pedri right now. And he's not been himself alongside a fair chunk of this Spanish outfit, you feel. Lamine Yamal, Dani Olmo, Pedri, all Barcelona players that haven't been at their sparkling best. Maybe just a hand played by Hansi Flick in his high-energy, high-tempo system, which is so draining over the course of a long season. Someone who has been good from Barcelona, though, has been Pau Kubasi, alongside Aymeric Laporte, the returning Athletic Club centre-half, as United will. With Kubasi defensively, it's felt as if the old and the new at the heart of the fence there. Laporte, an experienced head now, has seen a lot of major tournaments. Pau Kubasi going through and learning on his first one here. Dembele comes away with that one. Mbappe with a great take. Kubasi has to go with him. At least it's Luca Digne. And Barcola beyond him. And Barcola's gotten past Pedro Porro and can stand one up. And a block. And Pau Kubasi behind for our first corner of the game for France. Barcola just knocking that ball ahead of Pedro Porro. In the end, did pretty well, I think, to win the corner because there wasn't many options in the box outside of Ousmane Dembele. So Michael Olise with a left-footed out-swinging ball. France attacking it. 6 minutes in. It's in the Saliba direction. It's dealt with. And Rabiot. That is a questionable attempt at goal. There is Didier Deschamps. And Luis de la Fuente, he has a sparkling record, unbeaten in all knockout games so far for Spain. There's a pretty good record versus European opponents as well. Obviously, have beaten Portugal, Belgium, and Austria, all European opponents to get here. Ball with Mike Magnani just roped that ball back into play. It's the feet of Deo Upamecano. Dembele and Koundé looking to give that give and go, but broken up there by Rodri. We'll be saying that a lot today, I feel like. Rodri will be everywhere in midfield, covering spaces and pockets for his Spanish outfit. Fabian Ruiz now to Koulibaly. The more progressive and more attack-minded of the two centre-halves. To his team at Lamine Yamal. Pushed off it though by Adrien Rabiot. Upamecano, what a pass for Elise. And he looked to try and thread one through to Kylian Mbappe, but Aymeric Laporte with the most important of touches there. Now Lamine, it's superstar to superstar right now. Olmo, cut away from Elise, but not Rabiot. And the referee seen a foul there. The El Salvador referee. Here's a stomp down, but he's on the ball, has he not? Hate those calls. Don't like them. It's clear that Rabiot's won the football. And in the follow-through, he's just unfortunately just caught Dani Olmo. So Rabiot picks up a yellow for that challenge. Very unfortunate for Adrien Rabiot. And this is a very, very favourable position for Spain. It's going to take a lot to get it up and down over this French wall, but this sort of range starts to become a reality to find the back of the net. It looks like a four-man French wall. The referee just forgotten his spray. So lines are marked now. Baena and Lamine Yamal. Four-man French wall. Alex Baena straight into the wall of the French. Lamine Yamal, though, stands one. Important touch by Upamecano just to stop Aymeric Laporte getting on the end of that. Rodri nods that ball on. Laporte. So it's a difficult spot, though, that free kick, because of the proximity to the goal. When you go with power to get up and down, you often hit it straight into the wall, and that's what happened with Alex Baena, who tried, I guess, catch everyone out by taking it ahead of Lamine Yamal. But neither goal being threatened just yet. Tchouaméni back in the side. He was the ball back to Mike Maignan. That's a great clearing kick for Rabiot. Has a chance to take a couple touches and turn away. Mbappe presents himself centrally. Oyarzabal just nearby. Digne. Ready in Tchouaméni. Now with Dale Upamecano. He's got Dembele on the right of him. Elise in the middle. Here's backward Tchouaméni. Upamecano. Then a ball in that channel there where Jules Koundé's made the run, but Laporte used his strength to just push him off the ball and let it run away. It'll be a Spanish goal kick. Smart play from him. Yeah, some of Spanish and French royalty. Xavi, Arsene Wenger. Just see for the early moments, it's a lot of French pressing. You see here, Bain under the pressure of Upamecano, pressing all the way up to the opposition box. So Spanish are happy to allow France to turn. They've got initial press, but outside of that, a lot of clear space. Elise, that's loose. Chouameni had to be quick to get a touch on that to get ahead of Dani Olmo. Just a little bit confused at the moment, France, in terms of positioning and where they want to play right now. Elise, great crossfield pass. Digne. Mbappe shifts that ball inside and then looks for an interesting delivery over the top for Dembele, never favouring the Paris Saint-Germain attacker. Just overhit by Kylian Mbappe there, but smart idea looking to link up. They just look at always so dangerous, this French side, and that's great pressing from Rabiot to keep them going forward here. Koundé, Olise looks to shift it from left to right, but Fabian Ruiz gets a foot in. That Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain match up between those two there. Rodri turning and finding Laporte. Spain winning the last two meetings, 5-4 and 2-1 in the Nations League and the European Championship, respectively. And following that, a qualification 2-1 win for France in there as well. But Spain have had the lion's share of the matchup in recent times. 7 wins in the last 10 games versus France. With that recent Euro Championship qualifying win for France, their only win in the last 10 matches. He's fouling Rodri in there. Spanish skipper just being clipped by Elise. Oh, it's not a great one. He's lucky to get away with one there, Michael Elise. That's a bad one. So Spain played short. Shifting to Marc Cucurella, who's been a important figure going forward for them. 1 assist only this tournament, but has linked the game up for Spain in the final third, has made those overlapping runs to open up channels. In this case, in the underlapping run. And Bain has gotten wide on the left-hand side. Crossed by him, blocked by Jules Koundé. Now Ousmane Dembele, and an early ball. This is the chance now for Mbappe. Keeper off his line. Mbappe. Still Mbappe. And in the end, Spain get back with numbers. It's set to Barcola, edge of the area. Barcola. Left of him to Elise. Took a nick and it went wide, and it's going to be a France corner. And look at the dynamism of that counter-attack. The first-time ball from Dembele is sumptuous to Mbappe. He took it in his stride, but Kubasi, Rodri, and company all getting back in time just to make that chance dissipate. Cross blocked by Olmo. France are pilling for a handball. Not going to get it from Ifan Baton. And Lamine Yamal can't keep that ball in play. Here is Upamecano. There we see, though, the dynamism of the counter-attack is there. The threat is there. Spain need to be wary of it, and Simon can't be just wandering off his line like he did earlier. Because the threat is imminent. It's ominous. Poses a massive threat. Elise out to Ousmane Dembele. Left and right. And back right again. And sets him to the back post where Barcola is. He can take that ball down. Pedro Porro draped all over him. Digne, Chouameni. Ball lifted in there. But Dealt with by Aymeric Laporte once again. Man always seems to be in the way right now for Spain. They continue to look to make the brighter of the two sides in terms of their start here. It's been an interesting one where Spain have looked a little bit more progressive, a little bit more engaged. I said it in the preview prediction video. I think if you're Spain, you have to try and take the game to France, because by playing pragmatic, you're just going to invite overwhelming French pressure, and that will tell. Laporte into Fabian Ruiz and back to Aymeric Laporte. Cucurella. Now with Aymeric Laporte, part of this backline that went 649 minutes without conceding. So was Marc Cucurella, who was trying to be fed through there. Only one goal conceded so far this tournament for the Spanish. That is what they'll be leaning on here today. That defensive solidity to get the better of this French outfit. Have been as good as the Spanish in the knockout stage. Only one goal conceded on their behalf. Great little dinked touch over the top there by Olise to find Koundé. Looked for the return pass, but Marc Cucurella got a foot in. 2-0 win versus Morocco, 1-0 over Paraguay. For France, and then obviously Sweden the game prior to that. Pretty even so far, though. Spain have kept the French relatively at bay. And this is where I think they can be dangerous. Dani Olmo, Fabian Ruiz, Rodri in midfield. Trying to pull those strings. Olise is momentarily gone out wide. He has to defend this Cucurella cross. That's just over hit from Mikel Oyarzabal. Tinha under pressure here from Lamine Yamal. Penalty given. Whoa! Ivan Barton's quickly pointed to the spot. And Luca Digne has caught Lamine Yamal, who's come storming in from nowhere. And he went to try and win that ball and came crashing to the floor in the space of seconds. It's another one of those where Digne has no idea where Lamine Yamal is and kicks through him in order to win the football. And Lamine Yamal, it might not be his tournament, but is that his moment? And Luca Digne knew it straight away. No remonstrations. No points of discussion. But the graceful Lamine Yamal has done the dirty work and has gotten Spain a massive advantage here. They can try and score from the spot. And Mbappe's over to argue France's case. Mikel Oyarzabal steps up here from the spot. Referee clearing the spot. France still want this checked, obviously. And also want to delay the restart here. It is Mikel Oyarzabal who will step up here. The ball has been in his hands. Spain's leading goal scorer at this World Cup. He's converted all of his last 5 penalties for both club and country. Had plenty of penalties in this World Cup, a fair few being missed. But a chance for Oyarzabal to give Spain the perfect start from 12 yards. Oyarzabal versus Mike Maignan. Oyarzabal! He converts it! Spain in the lead. Mikel Oyarzabal from the spot. And they shoot at the blocks of Spanish. And they take the advantage in the semi-final in Dallas. Coolly converted and powerfully converted by Mikel Oyarzabal. So Mike Magnan's left-hand side. And this man continues to find the back of the net for Spain. 5 of these World Cup finals. Pretty cool run up to the ball. Little skip in there as well. Maignan goes the right way, but it's too powerfully hit. Too precisely hit into the corner. There's nothing the Frenchman can do about that. And Oyarzabal and Spain in the ascendancy here, halfway through the first half. And Luis de la Fuente, a very, very happy chap with that. And this French side that have defended so well, resolutely and solidly, and have looked impenetrable at times. They've got an advantage now to defend. And that's a massive swing in momentum in favour of the Spanish. Are they just going to come good at the right time? I don't think anyone really gave them any massive chance in this one. We know the quality. We know the ability of this side. We also know how solid this French outfit has been at this World Cup. They've got a chance to talk it over, though. It is our first quarter break. It is 1-0 of 24 minutes. Luca Digne giving the penalty away. And Mikel Oyarzabal converting from the spot. That's why it's 1-0 here. Short break. We'll be right back for the second period of this first half. And so we return. So the French return trailing. Who would have thought that would be the way this one would have panned out, especially this early in the game, I think. If we thought Spain were going to score, we really thought it was going to come later in the matchup. But Luca Digne, big week for him. Here we go, announced to Paris Saint-Germain. Back-to-back Champions League winners. He's made a massive mistake here to give Spain the lead. Mbappe holds off a couple of defenders and feeds to Adrien Rabiot, and you just feel now there might be a French flurry of attacks. Unless the Spanish continue to charge forward here, but Rabiot breaks up that pass and puts it at a play. Fair play to Lamine Yamal. Not his tournament so far. Only manages one goal. That came versus Saudi Arabia. But that ability there to charge in and make the most of a 50-50 ball, in the end, get fouled to give his side a penalty is great unselfish work. Mbappe's been clipped there, but no foul, says Ivan Baton. He has a bit of a point there. Kubasi's gone through him there to win the ball. So Digne with a throw. Olise. Chance for France to regroup themselves for that interval. Oh no. Saliba's just come to a halt. And after a massive season for Arsenal, Champions League final, Premier League champion, he's played all the important games here outside of that Norwegian matchup. He has gone down. Let me have a look at that penalty again. Just Lamine Yamal wanting that 50-50 more, and Luca Digne, to be honest, pretty poor awareness from him. And that penalty well converted by Mikel Oyarzabal. Never really in doubt from the spot, that guy. A real clinical finish there. The current worry right now is for William Saliba, and he looks like he's run his race, and potentially, if that's a hamstring injury, it's going to be a couple of weeks out. Might impact his start to the Premier League season for Arsenal as well. Maxence Lacroix is going to come on in his place. So the Arsenal centre-half off, and it's another London club player in Maxence Lacroix that comes on to replace him. As agile, as quick, maybe even quicker than William Saliba. Obviously not the same defensive accolades as the big Arsenal man. So if things have been worse, I'd say it can't really get much more than this here. Concede a penalty, concede the goal. When your centre half goes off, it's not ideal right now for France. Olise and Cucurella battling. And in the end, Cucurella taking out Michael Olise. And receives a yellow card for it. New Real Madrid man. Yeah, going in and not getting anywhere near the ball. And Michael Olise, that's just silly. He's in a tight rope now with that slice of cheddar. And to Ousmane Dembele now to just float one in there. Dembele towards the near post in the end, and Simon didn't have to move a muscle and just caught that. It's been the problem for France so far. They've not had that same clinical edge in the final third in terms of their passing, and link-up game has gone missing in that last pass. Something that we've said a lot about the Spanish side so far this World Cup, but something that has obviously been there a little bit more today. Porro's throw to Fabian Ruiz. maybe just the difficulty of opponents. For Spain has prepared themselves better for this matchup. No real gimmies with Austria, Portugal and Belgium. Maybe that's why they haven't quite shone as bright as we would have thought, because they have played some big opponents. Many people's favourite, my winners I predicted in Portugal. A Belgium side that was inspired and in some great form. And Austria is around a 32 tie is not an easy one, and they beat them by 3-0. France beat Sweden 3-0, but then Paraguay and Morocco didn't really go at them. Didn't really try to cause them any threat, and maybe that's why the mistakes come from Luka Digne. Unlapping run from Cucurella. Found by Olmo. Cut back blocked. Koundé almost gave away a penalty. Dani Olmo pressing high up on Upamecano. And the Bayern Munich centre-half can only put that ball out of play. Spain just starting to roll here. Like they're playing with a bit of mojo all of a sudden. Bit of ego, swagger. Showing their quality. Fabian Ruiz, Olmo. Chance to pick this ball up and chop inside, and took on a rash and wild shot that went nowhere near the target. France have got 12 minutes into the half-time interval. It'd be important for them, I think, to get a couple efforts on goal. They'll definitely want a goal back here before the break. Go in level. Another chance there for Dembele to feed 1-3, but again broken up by Pau Kubasi. Laporte and Kubasi have been basically everywhere so far. Long ball, awkward for Upamecano. Baina's gone past him. But the flag is up. And if it wasn't up, could have been an awkward moment for both keeper and Upamecano there. Just hasn't timed his run to perfection. Mike Magnon has come out and not gotten the ball, so that would have been a big question with referee butts on. More questions and answers right now for Didier Deschamps. For Luis de la Fuente, a much more calmer technical area. His team have come out and played some of their best football of the tournament so far. Rabiot's been beaten again there by Rodri. Long ball for Baena. He's claiming he was fouled by Jules Koundé. Referee not buying any of that. So France can come back with it. With Aurelien Tchouameni. It's Maxence Lacroix now. Look at Digne. There's two European champions in the back line there. Digne and Lacroix. Aston Villa winning the Europa League, and Maxence Lacroix with Crystal Palace winning that Conference League in Leipzig. Great take and turn by Ousmane Dembele, and sets Bradley Barcola through. Pedro Porro facing him up. Barcola shifts inside. Barcola! And again, the finishing product not quite there. But that's bright from France. Couple stutter steps and then chopping inside. Creates the angle there. Barcola just doesn't get over the top of that ball and keep it down. Rodri again, though, winning a midfield battle. Ruiz coming away with it. Cucurella. Baena continues running outside of him. Lays that ball inside, though, to the Parisian midfielder, Fabian Ruiz, away from Elise. All of a sudden, space opens up here for Spain. Olmo. Ruiz kept it. Pedro Porro lines it up. Never quite got it dipping. They continue to knock on the door. Not letting the French to settle here. That is what they've done very, very well so far in this one. Interestingly enough, the Spanish nation, their second semi-final. Oh, that's a poor giveaway for Maignan. Bain has picked it up. Rodri. Lamine Yamal. Olmo. Back heel. Lamine Yamal. Fabian Ruiz. Oh, just wide. And that was Spain at their stereotypical best. That was tiki-taka. It was awful for Maignan, the clearance. But then from here, Baina, Rodri, Lamine the flick to Olmo, the back heel. And then back inside by Lamine. And a little out to the foot effort towards goal. Block wide open Meccano. And Spain at their sensational best. It's silky, it's effortless. That was beautiful. Baina's ball in. Lacroix the first contact. Rabiot the second. And as far as Fabian Ruiz on the edge of the area. Stands on up towards the back post. Digne and Baina going to try and keep that in, and Baina does keep it in. Lamine Yamal fancies himself here. And he's been tripped. Look at Digne by Lamine Yamal there, and it'll be a foul against the Barcelona superstar. Again, though, look at Digne, just dilly-dallying on it. Lamine Yamal's continue to follow that ball in. Got to be more alert if you look at Digne in this one. Floater looking for Jules Koundé just over his head there. But those match facts summarise the game. 5 attempts for the Spanish. 2 for France. It's been that sort of game where Spain looked much better on the ball and going forward, which has been surprising, continuing the trends of this World Cup. Digne. Lacroix. Right, turn away from Yarzabal. Digne. Into Mbappe. He was dinged offside there. Kylian Mbappe. Just straying there. Feels as Mbappe and Dembele need more of the football. They're the two most dangerous out there. Rodri hooks that ball away. For Meccano. For Mbappe, it's beautiful. Again, the flag, though, is up. 2 times he's strayed now in the space of a minute. Mbappe. He's trying to just stretch. Oh, there's not much in that. Just trying to stretch that back line and keep them on their toes. It was about into Rodri, Fabian Ruiz. Now back with Aymeric Laporte. They need some Mbappe magic, you feel. We've seen it so many times in knockout stage football. He's the knockout stage golden man. Most goals ever in World Cup knockout stage football. You think back to the World Cup final last year, the early knockout stages in the likes of Russia as well. He loves this stage, loves this moment. They just need him now, just for a response, France here, to end this first half off. He's trying his best. He's occupying that back line, trying to stretch it. Just waiting for the right moment to pounce here. Mike Maignan out to Digne. Nodded on, flicked on by Barcola. Now Mbappe's in behind. Unai Simon's off his line. No flag went up. And Unai Simon, fantastic off his line to do that. Mbappe on the retrieve, and Koubasi puts it behind as he's backpedaling. All of a sudden, Kylian Mbappe says his imprints all over this one. Might have strayed just offside. Bruno Simon, sweeper keeper. He knows Mbappe too well in league football. He's made that adjustment here. Olise without swing. Didn't get ahead of Lacroix. Ball back in there. Second ball to one. Simon hasn't cleared it properly. Wow. The referee's called a halt here. And Simon and Oyarzabal can find the funny out of that now, but that was a big mix-up in the box. So Laporte, bit of a head knock there, so we're fine to go back underway here. Dembele from the drop ball. Runs himself into trouble, but it's been collected by his teammate Fabian Ruiz, who doesn't believe it. There's no real need to get a foot in there. There was 3 or 4 of them. Closing down Ousmane Dembele. And his Paris Saint-Germain teammates let him know all about that. He's been overturned. All right, he's changed the decision there. Referee Barton. Overlapping run by Marc Cucurella, found by Lamine Yamal. Wouldn't this be controversy if Spain score here? They haven't done so. Rabiot in the way. Olise. He's got a 1v1 here with Cucurella on a yellow. Great backpedaling and tracking by Alex Baena. Doing his defensive work there. Cucurella to Fabian Ruiz, and Spain play out of trouble. They've done this very well today. Whenever France have tried to press them, they've played through at ease and with comfort. As we tick towards the 45th minute, they're playing quite handsomely in this 1-0 lead. A few laser coming out now. Fabian Ruiz has been collected there by Rabiot. And then Rabiot's just not quite been up to the pace of this one. Maybe the tired legs. It just hasn't been his game so far in this tournament. He's been very, very good in other ones. Six minutes of stoppages to be added on for the build-up for that penalty. And obviously the hydration break as well. Lamine Yamal. Oh, that deflected pass always fell into the path of Alex Baena. Rabiot came away with it though, and now Upamecano out to Michael Olise. Continues sort of to drift out to the right-hand channel. Plays one centrally to Ousmane Dembele, and those two for a rare chance. Not in the same wavelength. And once again, Alex Baena getting back. It's going to be a worry though for France. They've not been able to impose their attacking willpower on this Spanish outfit. They could use maybe some of that guy's speed in behind and Usain Bolt. Mistake from Spain playing out, so France have a chance here to build up with a couple of minutes left here in stoppages. Haven't seen much of Aurelien Tchouameni. Either Adrien Rabiot. It's been a flatter midfield display from France today. Koundé got the better of Baena. Ball in there. Fizzed in. Mbappe was closing in. Barcola kept it alive. Opposite number 12 there with him in Pedro Porro. Dembele, the touch got away from him. Ousmane Dembele rolled it on for Digne. Rabiot looked offside. Floated one in there for Koundé, and eventually the flag does go. Gee, wasn't this a dangerous ball in there for Koundé? Almost too much speed on it. Didn't even allow the speedy Mbappe to get there in time. You see the quality in little spurts here from France, but not been there for long enough. Cucurella's got a massive little lump on that head. Lamine Yamal's got him behind of Digne here. Nearly got through on goal. Flick from Rabiot. Barcola competing with Pedro Porro. Rodri there again. A rare giveaway from him to Rabiot. But of course, Laporte. If it's not Rodri, it's going to be Laporte in there to win the ball. And now Fabian Ruiz can come away with it. They've just been always there. Every 50-50. Every ball in behind. Every little disguised pass. Always turned over. Oh, that's a bad giveaway for Unai Simon. Casually rolling the ball behind Fabian Ruiz. Tchouaméni. Olise. Lacroix. Digne. Barcola. Back with Digne. Koundé turning. Foul by Bader. 2/3 of our stoppage time have been played. A third remain. Can France make something with that final third in the final third? Barcola. Dembele just lost out there to Rodri, of course. Porro. Floats one. Almost. With Unai Simon. A little bit wasteful early on in. He's giving the ball away again there. Dembele was pressing from an offside position. Up there by Laporte. How's about competing with Upamecano? Across to the Bayern Munich man. Now down the right-hand channel for France. Olise, great dummy. But in the end, Laporte put it out of play. At least they wanted a yellow card, I think, there for Laporte, slowing down the restart. But we haven't seen that at all this tournament. Seems to be a rule that's been contained to UEFA. Lacroix out to Barcola. Into Mbappe. Mbappe. Digne. Looked to stand one up, but blocked again by Rodri. Human wall today. Can Digne just propel a long throw in there? Goes backwards instead. It's going to be now or never for France. Koundé. Now to Olise. There's two with him. Dembele on the edge. Ousmane Dembele. And tries to make the most of that. But wastes the chance. And on that note, that is going to be half-time. So Mikel Oyarzabal from the spot is the difference. There is Luca Digne, who was the villain, trying to clear the ball away. With Lamine Yamal came charging in to win the ball. He got none of the ball and all of Lamine Yamal, and for that reason, the spot kick was given. That was converted in the 22nd minute by Mikel Oyarzabal. France have failed to really imprint their attacking threat on this game. It has been Spain domination, I'd have to say, in terms of the final thirds. They've made the more chances. They've looked the better of the two sides. And they are deserving of their 1-0 lead into half-time. A lot to talk about when we come back. It is Spain 1, France 0. Half-time break here, and we'll be back in around 10 minutes' time. All right, ladies and gents, we are back for second half action. France with it all to do right now. A quick look at the early statistics. 60% of possession, 56% possession with the Spanish side. They created the 1xG, 5 shots, 8 touches in the box, more than their French counterparts with 45% of the ball. 0.04 xG with 2 shots and 7 touches in the opposition box. They've often came out second halves much stronger, so hopefully they can respond here. Countdown second half is underway. We're underway here. France has kicked off. They are kicking from right to left here in the second half. Spain from left to right. They had the advantage. Mikel Oyarzabal from the spot. In the middle of the first period. France have to respond. They have to go and chase this one now. They haven't shown that same quality and precision in the final third of what they have in the past. So far, Luis de la Fuente's system and his side have looked the better at both ends of the park as well. Didn't expect them to look this good going forward, but they have. On comes Manu Kone. Rabiot has been substituted at the half-time interval. That makes sense. Manu Kone has been, I think, fantastic this tournament so far. Probably, for me, France's best midfielder. Lacroix has come on in place of Saliba. And Kone, obviously, in place of Rabiot. One force there. The injury to William Saliba. Rabiot just looked off the pace. So Kone in there in midfield alongside Aurelien Tchouameni. First time we get to see those two playing together for a large period of time. Cucurella on a yellow. Rodri's been fantastic for Spain in midfield. The backline remains the same and as dominant as ever. And Lamine Yamal, Oyarzabal, Baina, with Olmo playing behind them. Pull around the corner, looking for Mbappe. Laporte again, just managing to get a foot in. Rodri further forward, and that's just out to play. Again, they've shown the ability, France, to get through lines, but it's that final pass into Dembele and Mbappe, or if it's Barkla going forward, they just haven't been able to find that pass. It's been down to, again, Digne caught on it. Oyarzabal couldn't take that ball with him, and if Upamecano got a foot in, whether it be Rodri or Laporte, one of them have disrupted the play almost any time France have looked dangerous going forward. It's be a constant trend here. Olise, Cucurella with him, and does a very, very good job to not foul. Michael Olise is struggling to have his imprints on this one. Upamecano got a toe in ahead of Dani Olmo. That's how to play for a Spanish star on the far side. It just seems every duel, every battle right now being won by those in white today. The team coming to this game 36 unbeaten. A 37th game unbeaten will be the longest ever run a Spanish team has been unbeaten for. As has been spoken about, 649 minutes without conceding this tournament. Remain have only conceded 1 goal. They've gone up against the best attack in the tournament so far and haven't really been troubled. Macana has been taken out there by Fabian Ruiz. Post full ice for the ball. Digne needs to make up for his mistake earlier. The referee tells him to get back to his feet. He's given the ball away here. Lamine Yamal inside of Pedro Porro. Spanking. Get their foot in the ball in. Trying to control it. I found they've really tried to progress the ball today. It's seen a change over possession more often than not, but they've still had more of it. And the more dangerous side. Lamine's gone down, but Barton, the referee, says, I don't fancy that. Get back to your feet. Elise to Mbappe, again trying to thread one through, but Kubasi this time in the way. Fabian Ruiz withstanding the press and getting out of it. And Spain have kept the ball beautifully there. Dani Olmo. And Yazabal has just been run into there. I think Maxence the car can't do about it, I think. Yazabal just put himself in the way between him and the ball. Here's Lamine Yamal challenge. It's not much in that. Made a lot of right calls today, the referee. Done a very good job. Porro. Little dink ball. Lamine Yamal's in behind. This is a chance for Lamine. Surely Lamine Yamal. Closed down. And Maignan made the save. Offside though given. The line is a bit wonky there though for France, even though Lamine Yamal is off. Got to be nice and flat. Better than that. Rodri getting his toe in. Manu Kone, though, trying to run away with it. But Fabian Ruiz is there as well. The Spanish midfielders ran rings around France today. I'm very glad for them that they started Fabian Ruiz ahead of Pedri. You don't have to pick names. You pick players in form and of quality. And that's what Fabian Ruiz is right now. Porro gets there ahead of Bradley Barcola. Every 50-50 right now going the way of Spain. This has got all the feelings of that World Cup final where France were just nowhere near it. They're just slightly off the pace and Argentina had the game in control. But that day it was all about Kylian Mbappe finding his way back. Has the feeling they need that once again. Yazabal tried the flick. Didn't quite connect with it. Oh, Yazabal still. His effort wide and high of the mark. The Sociedad man just a nice smile there. Just feels like every time they go forward, they're causing problems. And every time France try and get forward, they're in the way. It really has been a sensational effort from this side. That have finally shown us why they came this tournament as one of the favourites. Fabian Ruiz misses his kick there. Straight up. Aurelien Tchouameni can nod it on. At least they couldn't bring it down. He struggled in this one. Wouldn't be surprised if Desiree Doué's not too far away. Lamine Yamal gets away from Digne. He's had him on toast all day. Well done from Bradley Barcola to get back shoulder to shoulder with Lamine Yamal. Oh, and that's a pull back pass from Macana, and Maignan just keeps it in play just. It is chaos right now for the French side. It's out of sync. They look out of whack. They just look like they're a bit rushed right now. No need to do that so early. There, the Shumps watchers on. Desiree Doué, Mateta, Thuram has not featured at all this World Cup. Shirky, one of those guys to maybe come on here and change this game. Dembele into Elise. Further wide now to Digne. Barcola, touch tight to the left-hand touchline. Elise's continues to run further forward. Little backheel for Barcola. Even further for Mbappe. Kone on the edge of the area. Charmeni. To the right where Koundé is. Dembele. Can this be France's moment? No, it can't be. Too heavy of a pass from Dembele there. The polish and the quality isn't there. Porro looking for Oyarzabal, but Lacroix read that well. Fizzed one in to Olise. He just got the beating of Dani Olmo there. Chouameni. Meccano. Dembele, interesting enough, 5 goals this tournament, 4 have come in Boston. Obviously 3 came all at once versus Norway. He's been quiet outside of those Boston games. Meccano's got possession back here. Olise. Barcola. This is dangerous for France. To skip past Porro, but showed too much of that to Unai Simon. Bradley Barcola. Hold on for Unai Simon to come off his line, make himself big and get a hold of that one. Having said that, though, Pedro Porro was going toe-to-toe with Barcola every step of the way. Desiree Doué rating himself. He is due in. Likely to replace Bradley Barcola. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a Ryan Shirky for a Michael Elise. Kone again trying to thread one through, but again Fabian Ruiz getting a toe on it. In a way, you can say France haven't been poor. They've just been wasteful. Or we can also say that Spain have been on it defensively, which is no surprise with considering how good they've been. But the midfield today has been in a mood. Early ball by Fabian Ruiz was speculative at best. So Desiree Doué, he's ready. He's coming on for Bradley Barcola. Doué with 1 goal, 1 assist so far this tournament. It hasn't been as quiet as those stats suggest, though. He's been, I think, a real live wire for them. Cucurella again battling, getting the better of Elise, and today he's showing us why that Real Madrid have come knocking and they've picked him up. He has been the very best once again for Spain. A quality which we haven't seen, I think, for at least 12 months. Fabian Ruiz to Pedro Porro. Skipping past Desiree Doué. And inside, Rodri unfazed by the Dembele press. Spain keep the ball. They are humming, they are flowing. And they're forcing the French to chase here. Olmo with bags of space to turn. Rolls one back to Alex Baena. Chopping inside and shooting. Koundé in the way. Rodri towards that rear. Digne gets rid. Rodri, Fabian Ruiz. How good have those two been today? Porro. Olmo. It's Porro again. Continued his run. And Pedro Porro strikes home for Spain. And that could be the dagger blow. It's Pedro Porro again. And the silky, sensational Spanish are surely there now. They've teased, they've probed, and they've finally broken through. They've been the better side. And they've run this French side ragged. And what a run by the fullback, who's made this right back position all his own. Laid it off inside and didn't give up on the run, continued charging forward and got on the end of that loose pass from Danny Olmo. And then once he saw the whites of Magnan's eyes, he just picked out that near corner and slots Spain into a surely unassailable 2-goal lead. They look far superior, more dominant. And that's the finish of a veteran centre forward there from Pedro Porro. 2 touches out of your feet and past Mike Maignan in goal. This is what they deserve, Spain. They have shone. They have dazzled and are deserving of this 2-goal ascendancy. Mbappe can't believe it. I think these French fans and these French players can believe it. They've basically cruised throughout this tournament. And at their first hurdle, they're going to fall here. It's about Fabian Ruiz just overhits that pass, and it's been the selections of Luis de la Fuente to go with Fabian Ruiz, to go with Pedro Porro. In this game here, they've paid off. The midfield have been dominated by Rodri and Ruiz, and there's a ball on the score sheet again. The running from Baena. At least say now, France have got a lot to do. Oh my, what a turn away from Manu Kone. Could they make it 3? Because the French have to go all out now to chase this. Half an hour for 2 goals at least. And they need the rest as well. Oh, ball through for Lamine Yamal. Got the better of Digne. Lamine Yamal. Fashions a shot, Lamine Yamal. Offside. Offside. Oh. And his second World Cup goal was being chalked off as quickly as it was scored. Little bro can't believe it. Look at Digne's day. It's been painful at best. Lamine Yamal, they don't have a goal contribution or any major statistics, but he has ran Digne ragged. This French shot has just been outrun and outworked today. He is offside there. Just that leading shoulder. Once he got inside, what a finish. Special from Lamine Yamal. We know he's got that in his game. Haven't seen much of it, though, this World Cup. Danny almost come to play today. Mikel Oyarzabal's done what he does. Baena, I think, has been good. We're just waiting for a Lamine Yamal goal. That's the last we're waiting for a perfect Spanish display. And they continue to get the better of this French outfit. It's a bit of a bogey side for the French. Chouameni, Kone, Olise, banded off by Marc Cucurella. Spain come the other way again. Olmo. It really would be a shock for them to score 3. But right now, the next goal, you can only really see it going one way. That's in favour of the Spanish. Fabian Ruiz. Out to Porro. Once again, the score sheet, second goal at this FIFA World Cup finals. Showing his quality in a quality side. Sometimes lose sight of some of these players and they're playing for a really poor side like Tottenham has been the last 2 years, but that quality is there and it's been shown in this tournament. Another pass in behind broken up by Fabian Ruiz. And then threads one through to Alex Bainer. He's got no company up there with him, so he's all alone. And lays it back to a Paris Saint-Germain midfielder. He's been much adored and much loved by those Parisian fans, but today will be Villa number 1. Porro. Lamine. Fantastic back heel to find Pedro Porro again. He lays it back to Yamal. And like Kylian Mbappe did in his first go, Lamine Yamal might get a chance to have a swing at a World Cup trophy in his first ever World Cup finals. As things currently stand. Obviously, it's still a long way to go, but right now they are bossing this game. A rare giveaway for midfield. Digne picks up on it. Mbappe needs to put his country on his back again. Mbappe driving and setting one up. And I see him on have to tip it wide. It's a French corner. A rare flurry forward from the French. I'll have to say it just for the sake of it, but they were 2-0 down in the World Cup final when Mbappe changed the game. Digne. Cross blocked away. It'll be a secondary corner. In quick succession here for the French. Tchouameni for Meccano, Lacroix, Cornet, Mbappe in the box. They're not a massive side. They're a dangerous side, though. Elise to Tchouameni. Got a little flick and flicked it well over. Goal kick given. Olmo had a shove there. And the referee's called it back. Right now, they just can't get a grip of this one, France. And this is when some of that Spanish possession and pizzazz could come into the game. They've been clinical in front of goal. They've been dominant on the ball. They've been dominant off it as well. Cornet gave it away. Just got back there to get ahead of Mikel Oyarzabal, who couldn't get into second gear there. Mayan. Lacroix. Digne. Away to Aurélien Tchouameni. Now to Jules Koundé. France building with Ousmane Dembele. Here's Mbappe on the edge of the D. First time layoff to Koné. Doué. Showed way too much of that to Porro. Just the end product's not been there. It's been uncharacteristic of this French side of not put a foot wrong in the final third all tournament long. Where Paraguay and Morocco were resilient and robust, they found a way through quality. That quality has been absent today. Dembele, Mbappe! Oh. Took an ick and went wide. An important nick at that. I thought that was the moment. Wow, it fizzed just narrowly wide. Mbappe inches away. Elise. Digne. Elise again. With Pedro Porro on him. Doué sets up. Shifting. Right-footed shot. Blocked away. Kubasi was in the way. Doué again. To a back heel layoff for Elise. Recycled for Digne on the outside. He lifts one up and straight into the hands of Unai Simon. And now Lamine Yamal fancies at the counter. Mike Maignan read it well, though. And calmly and coolly headed to Michael Elise. As France open themselves up here. Great crossfield ping to Mbappe. He has Cucurella backpedaling, but the flag's up. Wow. Shouldn't be off there. That's a big mistake if he is. There is that Lamine Yamal offside. Just straying. Right shoulder there, leaning offside. Approach the three-quarter time break, not too far away from here. Fabian Ruiz now, out wide to Alex Bainer. That 70% win record in the last 10 games for Spain over France. Looks like it's going to continue. Koundé just bundled over Alex Bainer there. If he didn't get him the first time, he definitely got him the second time. No love lost there between the Atleti man and the Barcelona defender. Just a bit of frustration there for Jules Koundé. And now the final intermission here before the end of this one. Oyarzabal's first half penalty has been added to here in the second half by Pedro Porro. And as it currently stands 2-0, looks like a lead that cannot be broken. France have a lot to do. Short break. We'll be right back for the final moments of this one. All right, see you, ladies and gents. Final moments here from Dallas. It's a big Spanish lead right now. It'll take a lot to overturn by the French. The highest scorers here at this World Cup, but they're going up against a side that's only conceded one goal in every game so far they've played. So the final two French changes are here. Theo Hernandez and Ryan Cherki. He's going to be Michael Elise and Luca Digne to come off, so the expected substitutions have happened. Cherki will go in to that number 10 spot. Dembele will continue out wide, Mbappe up top and Doué on the left. Koné and Tchouaméni behind and Theo Hernandez joining Maxence Lacroix up for Meccano. And of course, Jules Koundé at the back. Found Tchouaméni there. Hasn't really been able to impact this game as he would have liked, I don't think. Maybe can Cherki's exuberance and lack of fear be what this French side needs to break down this Spanish low block. Dembele and low block's probably a really strong word. They've been very, very progressive in their play today. Aggressive in the defensive actions. And those stats show it. 8 shots to 5, 2 on target. The 2 that found the back of the net today. Mbappe to Doué out left. Crossing that's been blocked away. Again, it just sort of felt like that day. Every action, every pass blocked or taken a nick or been fumbled or competed into the air. Cherki's pass a little loose there for Desiree Doué. Mikael Yazabel's race has been run. On comes the almost clockwork substitution of Ferran Torres. And the Spanish are up. They're on their feet for Mikael Yazabel. He once again has delivered like he always does for the Spanish outfit. And Ferran Torres, who might be joining a few of these guys at Paris Saint-Germain in the next few days. Ferran Torres offside there. Yeah, rumours linking him to joining PSG. With Gonzalo Ramos obviously leaving for AC Milan. Chance for them to rebolster that front line of Doué, Barcola, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, with someone of the quality of Ferran Torres, and continue that sort of hybrid front line they have going up there. Cherki. Lacroix. And to Doué. Can his trickery and twinkle toes impact this game? Dink ball just overhit for Mbappe. He just hasn't had the supply today, Kylian Mbappe. He's trying to do it on his own at times, but struggled to create that clear-cut opportunity. Won by Teo Hernandez there against Alex Baena. Take a lot of the sting out of this one now. Obviously, Spain have the right to sort of sit in and absorb and force France to go and chase this. Mbappe on the turn. Yamal going with him. Yamal not winning the ball and getting all of Mbappe. They want a card. Yeah, Deschamps is incensed to the referee. Not a great challenge at all from Lamine Yamal. Oof. Just had that start to come through. Yamal's 8 of 10. Chance for 9 from 11 here. As Barcelona and Real Madrid and France and Spain are faced off. It's becoming the modern day rivalry that Lamine Yamal is dominating. Dembele with in-swing and Rodri away. But whilst he did that, he was fouled. This has been a Ballon d'Or-esque Rodri performance. It has been unstoppable today. Here come those substitutions for Spain. Couple of reinforcements for the final few moments. Dani Olmo make way for Mikel Merino, and I'm showing Fabian Ruiz to make way for Pedri. Fabian Ruiz, what a game. I just absolutely adore this guy. He is superb. One of the most underrated footballers in world football right now. Honestly, never really puts a foot wrong. And yes, Pedri is a generational type talent, but Fabian Ruiz is right now schooling him in terms of his impact in a game of football. Long ball, Mikel Merino. He'll fancy himself another goal off the bench, won't he? Won't have to be a winner. It might be 3 from 3 for him. Pedri with a turn. A great turn at that. Takes up the space in front of him. He's off to Alex Baena on the left. Baena stands one up. Ferran Torres! Oh, heads it wide. Close from the Spanish substitute. ahead of Teo Hernandez, and they can't keep the ball again. Spanish possession, Rodri. I think he really has been the litmus test, the player that everyone's followed today. He led by example. He won the early battles. He won his early duels. He was safe and sound in possession. Ever since then, the Spanish have followed. Just looking like back-to-back semi-final exits in major tournaments for France and back-to-back exits to Spain. And I'll tell you what, I think the English and the Argentinian fans will be licking their lips because Spain are unbelievable. Don't get me wrong, but I think both those two sides would have been blown away by the French. The Spanish, though, you gave an opportunity there. You see how Belgium and Portugal prior are able to keep it tight versus the Spanish outfit and stay in the game versus them. You're never really out of it versus Spain. Teo Hernandez fists one across and Simon catches cleanly. That's the thing. They've played unbelievable today. They're two to the good. But another day, they can easily only be one to the good. And with players like Messi and Bellingham and Kane and Julian Alvarez, the winner of the other game will fancy their chances in the final. It's funny how that works out, that arguably the team that no one wants to face gets beaten by a similar side once again. And the side that opposition numbers want to face are better than the most feared side. Shirky's got clattered there by Cucurella. The referee said the ball was being played by Cucurella, so play on. Shirky, and it's gotten away from Ousmane Dembele there. Shake of a head from those fans in the crowd. Sense of shock here. This wasn't in the script. It was in no one's script, to be honest. And France's record of 7 straight wins in the World Cup knockout stages versus European sides will come to an end here. I predicted a repeat of the 2006 World Cup matchup between these two. Oh, Mbappe might be on here. Simon's come a long way, and he's well off his line. And Desiree Doué has an empty net. Doué, Simon got back. He would have leg to it. Unbelievable. Unai Simon, take a bow, son. Shirky through to Mbappe. He thought he got there, but Simon, at least 35, 40 yards out from his goal, made the intervention, then got back. Wow. Doué. Trying to get up Porro. The Spurs man got in well again. Porro's down injured here though. Mbappe. Away from Pedri. Tchouaméni. Koundé. Fizzes one in there. It's dealt with by Laporte and Kubasi. Teo Hernandez. Doué. Back with Teo Hernandez. And that's a coming together. And Simon is clearly hurt by that trailing Teo Hernandez foot. See what happens here. Just a little kick through there. Just as France had a bit of a scent of, bit of momentum, bit of a float to the game. A smartly taken stoppage there by Unai Simon. So Nico Williams readies himself. He's going to be introduced here. So there's Marcos Llorente. Alex Baena and Pedro Porro making way for those two. So Porro's laboured. It's going to depart, and Alex Bainer, who's run his socks off today, will also make way. So a goal kick was given there. So now Simon sends us back into play. Marino and Teo Hernandez battling. Doué taking the seconds. Hernandez's touch was loose, and Fran won it, I thought, fairly, but a stray elbow catching Teo. So disappointing today, France. Not themselves. Not the same chemistry which you've seen throughout this tournament, and what has been for me has been probably the greatest revelation of this tournament has been how well they've worked together, France. They just haven't had it today. Marino looking for Ferran, hit the back of his heel. Maxence the cross that accelerate away and set Lamine Yamal there. Now we'd say, Luis de la Fuente continues his invincible and unbeaten knockout stage run and going to another major tournament final after winning it with Spain at the European Championships. Dembele's been found with that little back heel there, and Rodri's been a little bit overzealous there on the Paris Saint-Germain forward. So Dembele will float this one in there. It is kitchen sink time for them now. They must, and that delivery is just not it. I think summarised their day, probably that free kick by Ousmane Dembele. Wasteful and poor. Cherki away from Pedri. The City man on the charge. Little dink looking for Mbappe or Dembele, but neither obliged. The heads are starting to drop now for the Spanish outfit. Yellow card for Mbappe. Just went flying in on Simon there. Just an elbow for Mbappe on the way through. Can understand his frustrations though. Lack of supply, lack of delivery for him. For the first time in his illustrious international career, Kylian Mbappe will not be going to a World Cup final, which just seems ridiculous to say, because he has been Mr. World Cup. And his next go around, going on 30. This man, he dazzled as a teenager in Russia. He took control and carried his nation in Qatar. And despite his dominance through this campaign, it's going to fall short with arguably his most help he's ever had. But it's that help today that's gone missing. Nico Williams had a sniff, but Tchouaméni acrobatically got rid of that one. Koundé comes away now with it. Out to Dembele, Cherki central. To turn and drive into space, Dembele. Momentarily a bit of space here for Spain with Doué. Overlapping by Teo Hernandez. And Lamine Yamal caught him, and that is right on the edge of the area. From Desiree Doué. It's a lazy challenge from Lamine Yamal. Oh, gee, inches away from the penalty spot. Mbappe, he's dropped this ball and lines it up. He fancies it. He knows it must be him. Can this World Cup superstar deliver one more dazzling moment of this tournament. Maybe keep his nation alive. It's Kylian Mbappe with whip and too much power over the crossbar from the Real Madrid and French centre forward. Just not his go today. Everything he's tried just hasn't come off. Everything they have tried, the French outfit, has not come off. In part due to this Spanish outfit, but also today just not being their day. The quality has just disappeared. Lamine Yamal twisting and turning, being bundled over by Theo Hernandez. And the referee saying there's nothing in that. He fancies himself a moment here, Lamine Yamal. It's great defending from Theo Hernandez. Gets his body across him. Shields the ball. Does a very good job. Obviously plying his trade in Saudi Arabia right now, Theo Hernandez. The tail end of his prime. Manu Kone, driving run. Just keeps that ball in play. Continues to chop inside. Laying the ball back for Jules Koundé, who will be going back to his football club in Barcelona. Unhappy. A fair few of his teammates, Ferran, Pedri, Olmo, Lamine Yamal, will be very, very happy. Cherki, Mbappe. And what a challenge for Marc Cucurella, who celebrates that like he's won the game. Doué. Fancy feet. Dembele dinks one in there. With Meccano up for a header. Tchouameni keeps it alive. 7 minutes of stoppage just to be added on. Mbappe faced up by Cucurella again. Mbappe in there with whip. Away by Laporte. Kone. Theo Hernandez to the edge where Cherki is. Can he work his magic in tight spaces? Kone puts a ball in there. Needed a nick. Didn't get one. And everyone goes over to congratulate Marc Cucurella. It was a great disguised pass from Cherki to find Mbappe. But before he could get his toe to it, his soon-to-come teammate, Marc Cucurella, made the intervention. Time rapidly not becoming this French side best friend. Lamine Yamal. Pedri turning away from trouble. Yamal back to Llorente. Time to keep ball at the moment for them. Couple of volleys coming out. Laporte long. Koundé winning that aerial duel. Nico Williams. Marino. Does he dare go forward or keep the Ole's coming? Lamine Yamal. Bit of a body feint. Looks to get past Theo Hernandez. Just out muscled there by Theo. 10 by Maxence Lacroix. France playing for pride now. Playing for a goal back. And they've yet to be held goalless at this tournament so far. They'd fancy themselves for one here. Mbappe with a great take. Crowded out by 2 white jerseys. No help up there for him. It's been a symbol of his day. Llorente, Pedri, Yamal, Llorente. Rodri goes over. How about that for Spanish royalty? Puyol, Sergio Ramos, Iker Casillas, and Xavi. All part of that 2010 class that last made a World Cup final for Spain, and that has been their only visit there. on their second semi-final visit with their second ticket to a World Cup final. They'll be heading to New York to face the winner of England and Argentina, which we'll find out tomorrow. For France, it's probably the most painful game any side can play. Third place match to come on the Saturday evening. Oh, poor touch from Upamecano. He gave it away to Ferran Torres. He rolled in Nico Williams, who deserves a goal. Williams beat Magnan, but also wide of the goal face. Chance goes wide. Mbappe, Cherki. Chance later on here for France. Dembele! And he can't get past Unai Simon. He has been that man all tournament long. That's the Dembele we haven't seen so far today. That directness, that threat to goal. Challenge flying in by Ferran Torres. He lets his teammate Jules Koundé know about it. And a flick around the corner for Nico Williams. Marino. And after this performance, you expect Spain to go in as favourites for that World Cup final in a couple of days' time, where they've bossed this one. And I guess the way you can say they've grown into the tournament, they've gotten better as they've gone on, and mimicking the Argentines where they lost to Saudi Arabia the opening match day. Spain 0-0 with Cabo Verde the opening match day. They've responded. One thing they haven't let go, though, is that defensive structure, that defensive solidity. Now they're just toying with the French here. Lamine Yamal out on the wide right-hand side here. Skips inside of Doué. And a play for a Spanish throw. They are 90 seconds away now for booking that World Cup final ticket. Leo for Lamine Yamal. Kone got that ball ahead of Lamine Yamal. Cherki, Kone, Doué. Crossfield pass to find Ousmane Dembele. Takes it down dead. Dembele with directness. Dembele to goal. Simon the parried save. And hook clear. Spain want their clean sheet. Advantage played. Kone. Doué. Mbappe. Over. And that is going to be the final chapter for France in this World Cup. Those Spanish fans will be partying long into the night tonight. The French have been nowhere near it today. That French connection's gone missing. And today, all about the Spanish. A beautiful, dazzling, and dominant Spanish display. They booked their ticket to the FIFA World Cup final. And they bring to an end this French outfit that has looked unstoppable. That has looked the most dangerous by a long way, but they've been upended once again by the Spanish, who've now got the advantage over this French side. 3 semi-final wins now in the space of 3 years. They've done it again. Oyarzabal from the spot. Penalty won by Lamine Yamal. And in the second half, Pedro Porro capped off a very, very dominant Spanish display to give them a well-deserved 2-0 victory. The end of Didier Deschamps and this French outfit. They'll obviously be back for one more game for a third-place playoff, but this will feel like a failure for them. But it's another step in the right direction for the Spanish, who go to their second ever World Cup final, looking to lift their second ever World Cup. Oyarzabal and Porro are the difference today. And Mbappe and his fabulous French fall short. 2-0 on the day. Spain through to another World Cup final. They await the winner of Argentina and England to face off in New York for that World Cup trophy. It ends here 2-0 for the Spain.